Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of the Alta California roster tour. This is part 2 of a 4-part series covering most of the locomotives I plan to build for my prototype freelanced HO-scale Alta California Railway. These are things I'm currently working on, including one I just completed and many more in various states of construction. First up is the nearest to completion, in Alco, PA in the striking Mexico 68 paint scheme. This paint job was designed in 1966 in anticipation of the Olympics in Mexico City in 1968. This Proto 2000 model lavishly redetailed to represent a unit purchased new by the Alta in 1948 and recently rebuilt with a 251 Alco prime mover. This unit now has Locksound V5 DCC and scale sound system speakers inside. Next is a bit of locomotive royalty in X Santa Fe E6A. These were sold off by the Santa Fe in 1965 and purchased directly from EMD used. It'll be redetailed to represent a Santa Fe prototype, including the hideous nose headlight retrofit the Santa Fe did. I'll try to model it exactly as number 15 looked when it was retired and sold to us, gently patched out for the Santa Fe. I also acquired this dual headlight Rock Island unit to be stripped and rebuilt into the E6s ordered new in 1939 for the El Monarca, our famed passenger train. This will be what the Alta units looked like straight from EMD and will be painted in the 1955 Lowy paint scheme. Next up is this EMC gas-electric doodlebug. This was inherited from the Potter family, who was featured in that 70s layout video I did years ago. It'll be painted up for the Alta and also feature cab lettering honoring Mr. Potter, and his memory will live on with this unit. The pride of the fleet, this Athearn Genesis F45 will be repainted into the Mexico 68 paint scheme as well. I have 2 other F45s I intend to keep in Santa Fe colors as pool power as well. This unit already has sound and a scale sound system speaker inside. Next is a bit of an oddity. This is Two-Face, the test bed locomotive for both the Mexico 68 and the Citrus schemes I did. This will probably be detailed and used as a prop in the diesel shop. Next up is a pair of GP9 torpedo boats from 2 different manufacturers. So named for the air tanks on the roof looking similar to World War II torpedo boats, these dual-service jeeps are primarily used on the Alta for mail and secondary passenger train service. This Proto 2000 model and its Athearn Genesis companion will be upgraded with sound and used often in dual service. There's a lot of light branch lines on the Alta, and everywhere from Santa Cruz to the Central Valley to the Mexican desert, we needed a diesel with light axle loading to take over from the venerable 440s and 260s rostered for decades. Alco stepped up to the plate, delivering us these RSC2 and RSC3s to handle traffic. Eventually, the 244 prime movers gave them trouble, which led us to look to EMD and also later to Alco to repower some of them in the early 1960s. Following real-life examples on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas, and the Mopac, we repowered some of these with 567 prime movers. The second batch was then sent to Alco, inspired by the Milwaukee Roads rebuilds of their RSC3s into 251 Alco-powered locomotives. Both repowers proved excellent and long-lived. The stock models are Cato, and both rebuilds are Proto 1000 units. Enjoying the video so far? Make sure to leave a like and comment which one is your favorite project you'd like to see completed next. Also stick to the end for another completed Alta locomotive I finished while editing this video. Next, we have a delightful oddity, a kit bash that someone started decades ago but I intend to finish. A fictitious Bud RDC kit bash based off of an Australian and Brazilian prototype. This shorty RDC will replace the aging McKean and Doodlebugs on desert routes where air conditioning is top priority. It rides on a Blue Box GP9 chassis and has custom side frames I made myself. The Alta also didn't just buy used FTs from the Santa Fe as seen in part 1, they also purchased AB sets brand new in 1939, and these Intermountain models will become the first pair of those. They'll look great in the Citrus paint scheme and run well with the robust drivetrains. Someone spent a lot of effort super detailing the A unit to match a Milwaukee Road prototype. If you need this exact Milwaukee unit and are willing to trade me for a stock Intermountain shell, I'll trade you this beautiful super detailed job for the price of shipping. Otherwise, it will be repainted into the Alta. Any road name is fine, but it must have a single headlight and no side number boards like this one. Another test locomotive, this one started out as a Fubi RSD-12 from Atlas that I then took the 3-axle trucks off of to make my C625 featured in episode 1. The 425's trucks were then swapped under this, making an accurate RS-11. This will most likely be a test bed locomotive for the Mexico 68 paint scheme, and probably will not see revenue service. I'll eventually buy a Rapido RS11 to fill this role. Speaking of Rapido, this undecorated FA2 will become the other pride of the fleet alongside the F45s. Already equipped with DCC and Locksound V5, I'm very excited to bring this unit to life. It already runs beautifully. If you have another undecorated FA2 model out there you'd like to sell me, let me know. I need more than one of these, as I'd like to make an ABBA set of these. More rescues from McCook, Illinois scrap yards, as the Alta purchased 8 used PAs from EMD in 1967 as they were traded in by the Santa Fe. While one will remain in a very, very weathered Santa Fe original paint job, the others will be super detailed to represent freshly outshopped PAs rebuilt with 251 prime movers, just like the one featured earlier in this video. Not all of the PAs and PBs arrived in working order, however, and the decision was made to convert a pair of PBs with failed prime movers into steam generator cars, just as the Rio Grande did. This allowed flexibility to put dual-service and high-speed geared locomotives like the SD45s, the F45s, and the GP40s on passenger trains as backup power. They were also used during the winter as backup steam generators for aging PAs and E6s whose generators were getting long in the tooth. This is a Proto 2000 PB with lots of styrene plating over the original grills. It took more time than I'd like to admit to do it, and I'll probably build a second one to even finer quality. People have been excited about switchers, and I won't disappoint. Up first is the Alta's very first diesel switcher, an HH660 from Atlas. This unit will be painted up in either Citrus or Mexico 68. Let me know in the comments which one you'd like to see first. Another beautiful new switcher for the Alta is this SW1000 from Athearn. Hopefully I'll have a pair of these holding down switching duties on the layout resplendent in the new Mexico 68 paint scheme. It'll have Locksound V5 and a scale sound system speaker in it as well for that extra bit of fun. Also in the works is this Locksound V5 equipped NW2 from Walthers. It started out as a BN unit before being stripped, and is now on its way to being painted up in Citrus. This NW2 and a companion SW9 will represent some of the earlier EMD end cab switchers that existed on the roster from the 1940s until the 1990s. Next up is an Alco S4, the leftover parts from the Chessie S4 kit bashing video elsewhere on my channel. I plan to model this as a locomotive on shop trucks, getting a newly rebuilt 539T prime mover. I sourced this beautiful prime mover 3D print off of eBay. There's a link in the description below. It'll either be modeled alongside the unit, ready to drop in, or inside the hood with lots of the hood doors opened. Thanks for watching until the end. As teased in the first video, the first completed GP40 is also now complete. Looking sharp alongside its SD45 counterparts, this unit is an Atlas model with Locksound V5. It was a lovely gift from a cherished friend and modeler who changed scales recently. It is now one of the most important units in the fleet, able to handle fast piggyback trains as easily as switching duties. There's plenty of other units that haven't been featured in this episode, but will feature in future installments. These include more than one RS1, an export DL500C, and even a few switchers, but we'll see those in a far-off future video. In the next episode, I'll cover steam locomotive projects, and after that, it'll be the electric and urban roster, so please subscribe and stay tuned for that. Thank you to each and every one of my patrons for supporting my modeling efforts and video creation. Every dollar goes into producing videos like these for you to enjoy. Join the Patreon to learn more about the Alta as well, as supporters get exclusive access to Alta lore and history. This has been An Urban Era. Thank you, and goodbye.